Do you have a desire for something more in your Christian walk? Do you have a hunger for the deeper things of our God, whose name is Yahweh in Hebrew? Be encouraged, be inspired, be informed as you search out the truth. As it relates to the Christian and Hebrew history of our faith in Jesus, whose name is Yeshua in Hebrew, Dr. Larry J. Pratt and Rabbi Paul Todd will share the scriptures in our Bible that God said are forever and apply to all Christian believers. These scriptures will reveal the constitution and nature of the soon-coming kingdom of Yeshua, when he rules as our king on earth. In Matthew 25, there are 10 virgins who are called the bride of Jesus Christ, and they are righteous. But only 5 have enough oil. And what did Yeshua, Paul, and others intend for Christians to do when they said, "Follow me"? Is this a reference to the bride of Christ? Get your coffee, get comfortable, and hear a right now word of God of how Torah, or God's teaching and instruction, is to be written upon our hearts. This biblical wisdom will illuminate our Christian walk and help us to be the salt and light that is forever and has never changed. Learn the blessing prayers of Yahweh over his bride and our children and our grandchildren for greater blessing, such as protection, healing, revelation, and answers to many questions.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Up here in beautiful, gorgeous, and a little rainy North Sparta. Come on up and be a part of this great, wonderful fellowship. Today is a good day. Today is the day that Yahweh himself has made for us. He set it aside, and we are here at his invitation. So, this is Yeshua Sabbath Church, and everything that we do is in accordance with fair use doctrine. You also, if you have a cell phone and you do not need to have it on, please turn it off. The Sabbath, that which we are celebrating at this moment, is a covenant sign between Yahweh and his people. It shows that we are one of his. So let us welcome this Shabbat. We have some music. This first piece is, you just follow along. It talks about covenants. We get an idea of what's going on, and then the rest of it's nice praise and worship. Oops.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 to 34. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, says the Lord. This is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor, and every man his brother say, Know the Lord, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin I will remember no more.
Here's a technical term for what's going on right now. It's broke. Just mash that little thing, start all over again. Way up in the left-hand corner, the little screen picture. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'll move it with this clicky thing. Can we watch this again? Good. It's a good thing.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 to 34. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, says the Lord. This is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says the Lord. For I will
Let's bless Yahweh for providing his method of salvation through Messiah Yeshua. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yeshua. Amen. The Shema. Would you please stand for the Shema? The Shema is our pledge of allegiance to Yahweh.
Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our Elohim. Yahweh is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. The Ve'ahavta, or and you shall love in English. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, and have these words which I command you this day be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you retire, and when you rise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And as we continue to remain standing, we say the standing prayer, the Amidah, some selected portions. Yahweh, open my lips that my mouth may tell your glory. Karoshet Hashem Yahweh, or the set-apartness of Yahweh's name. You are set apart, and your name is set apart, and every day set-apart ones will praise you, Salah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the set-apart Elohim. Refuah, the healing and health prayer. Heal us, Yahweh, and we shall be healed. Save us, and we shall be saved. For you are our praise, and bring complete recovery for all our ailments. May it be your will, Yahweh, my Elohim, and the Elohim of my forefathers, that you quickly send a complete recovery from heaven, spiritual healing and physical healing. For those, you may recite those names. There's a lot of people out there that need this. And where's Will? Will. Let's not forget ourselves. Among the other patients of Israel, for you are Elohim, King, the faithful and compassionate healer. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who heals the sick of his people, Israel. Kibbutz Galuyot, the ingathering of the Galut, the exiles, that's us. Sound the great shofar for our freedom, and raise a standard to gather our exiles and gather us from the four corners of the earth. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who gathers the dispersed of his people, Israel. And the completion of the Amidah. May the expressions of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart find favor before you, Yahweh, my rock and my redeemer. May be seated. Kaddish. This is Memorial Kaddish or Mourner's Kaddish that we're saying, and it is for those who have passed on. We have relatives and so forth. If you wish to remember one who has passed on this past week, or sort of there's a memorial of this past week, or somebody that you know. I don't know how many of you like Fats Domino, but he's passed, which is something that touches all of us is the unborn babies that were murdered this week. Let us remember them. Magnified and sanctified be his great name. Amen. In the world which he has created according to his will, may he establish his kingdom during your life and during your days and during the life of the whole house of Israel, even swiftly and soon. And we say, Amen. Let his great name be blessed forever and to all eternity. And we say, Amen. Blessed, praised, and glorified, exalted, extolled, and honored, magnified, and lauded be the name of the set-apart one. Blessed is he. Though he be high above all the blessings and songs, praise, and consolations which are uttered in the world. And we say, Amen. I'm kind of a stickler on this reading the scripture thing. I got to tell you, I think it's very important. We're given, not a big deal. I mean, look at the list. About 700 chapters. It's not a problem. We should be able to do this and do it. Take it at home. Get it at home. The list is on that calendar back there. This keeps us up to date. So we have Lech Lecha, which technically means just get yourself, but we like to say get yourself out. And that's what the command was. And that's Genesis 12 through 17. And the Haftarah is Isaiah. There's some good stuff in 40 through 41, honest. Read it. And Romans 4. I believe that's, the whole chapter almost? This congregation functions on tithes and offerings. We bring food, we bring ourselves and all that. That's really nice, but somebody's got to pay the bills. Lights need to stay on. So let us bless the offering. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who sanctified us by your commandments and commanded us concerning tithes and offerings. Yeshua. Okay, I have a message. I got to tell you about this. I boiled down a lot of message material over the past couple of weeks, seeing as I was sick last week, or whatever it was that hit me. And I realized, gosh, we're almost at the end of the month of October. Of course, on Facebook, well, all over the internet, we're inundated with advertising and so on and so forth, or reminders of what's coming up the end of this month. So I thought maybe that's a good thing to talk about. So let's do that. Okay. Let's just get straight to Yahweh, open our eyes that we might see wonders from your word. We're continuing with upright ostrich. Remember him? Your head out of the sand. That's what the upright ostrich does. And it's a serious issue. Look up. Look around. This is out of the book. I didn't make this up. Okay? In Leviticus it tells us, I am Yahweh who brings you up out of the land of the Mitzrayim to be your Elohim, and you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. King James says, you shall be holy, for I am holy. He also says, Yahweh spoke to Moshe, that's Moses, saying, speak to the congregation of the children of Israel, that be you all, like me, and some of them guys on TV, be set apart, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am set apart. Do not turn to idols. Do not make for yourself molded mighty ones. That'd be gods in the King James. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. When he does that, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, that's important. I may not be talking to all of you. I'm talking to some of them on that camera up there. In Leviticus 19 it says, do not turn to idols. Do not make for yourself molded mighty ones. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. What happened? That was, okay, here we go. Exodus chapter 20, 10 Commandments. That's where you find it. He starts off with, I am Yahweh, your Elohim. That's the first commandment. You have no other mighty ones, gods, against my face. That's a best translation of that. It says in King James, you'll have no other mighty ones before me, or no other gods before me. No, against my face, in my face. Because he considers all of the stuff another mighty one in our face. That just changed color? All right. Okay, so we think, what is your problem this morning, afternoon? All right, we got that. So people think this stuff is what he's talking about with mighty ones, bowing down to a black box and a chunk of rock, or bowing down to another chunk of rock carved into looking like something. That's what we think. That's what the church has taught us. It's not just that. He means this stuff also. So the message today, don't open that door. It is all fun and games until Judgment Day. That's a fact. We're going to love this stuff. You will use all kinds of excuses. The church uses it. I was there. Driving down here this afternoon, there's signs, marquees at all of the churches, and they're saying stuff like Fall Festival. What? Okay. Leave the screen on. Man, that's cool. How do you do that? Okay. This is a fact. Pagan holidays and festivals they're accepted within the Christian church. They're just fine. Go ahead and do it, no problem. It's all harmless, fun, for the children. Christmas, and Easter, Halloween, Valentine's Day, and a bunch of other things. The church participates in these things openly. The schools, well, I know they used to participate in all of it. They had Christmas pageants and so on and so forth. They still do? Okay, they still do. The stores. Went into Kroger's yesterday. Christmas stuff's up. You believe that? It's October. What? And we're inundated. It is shoved against our face. It's jammed into your face and my face. You can't get away from it. There it is. And we are told this in the church. Church people will tell me this about all of those things. They'll say, but it's just harmless fun for the children. It's for the children. Please. Nowadays, there's absolutely no excuse. Everybody's got a computer. Look it up. Look up pumpkins carving thing. Hey, I love art, man, I'll tell you. I think some of the pumpkin carving is really cool, but it has dark origin. Bobbing for apples? Look that up. Hey, Easter, go find out where them colored eggs came from. Not much fun. This is serious stuff. It's not harmless fun. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on some of my personal gripes, but I'm gonna. Don't open the door. Not even a crack. There are times when you open a door and you will never be able to close it again. I wrote something down this morning. Somebody said something here, choices. All choices have consequences. Didn't you say that? Linda, you said that. You're standing right there. It's like a tattoo. Don't get drunk and get a tattoo. You're stuck with it for the rest of your life. Open a door. And you can't close that door. The harmless fun tells the child that such things that are clearly anti-Bible or clearly Scripture says don't do that, it's going to tell the kid it's all right as long as it's done in fun. Okay, so now what? You crack the door a little bit further, the little monsters are going to come out of it. They will. There's nothing you can do to stop them. They're there. Now this here stuff is pagan holidays. This is taken off of a pagan website. This is the things they honor. Why is the church doing this? Why are you doing it? Look, this is not our stuff. We have festivals in Scripture. We're commanded to party. Yeah? Sukkot, a party. Tabernacles, that's a party. What's wrong with that stuff? Sabbath is a delight. Yahweh expects his people to be set apart, but it isn't just holy, it's holy to something. It means set apart to something. The priest wore a gold headband that said, Kadosh Yahweh, set apart to Yahweh, right there on their forehead. You want to call yourself a priest? It says we are. Kadosh Yahweh, set apart to Yahweh. You have to be. I think I wrote something down about that the other morning. And some doors really are meant to stay closed. We have no business peeking behind them. It doesn't matter. Whatever's back there is just fine all by itself. Let the Goyim, the Gentiles, let them open their door. You stay close. Get out of it. This is one thing. Conspiracies, this is a door. Now, I'm bringing this up because we were talking about stuff. I've been in the Patriot movement since the early 80s. Actually, I was in it back in the 70s in the Army, quietly. And I'm really aware of a lot of the, I'm just going to use the word conspiracies. Some of them are correct, they're true, there's something to deal with. Some of them are more of a distraction. Or maybe not more of a, they are flat a distraction. They're very, very tantalizing to everybody. Us humans love this secret knowledge stuff. I know something you don't know. We kind of have it with what we believe certain things. Our beliefs are backed up. In fact, we could call that secret knowledge. That secret knowledge leads them to call us a cult. We follow the scriptures. We go to Sabbath. We don't eat pork. We this, we that. So there are times when some of it just gets to be too foolish to discuss. But some of this stuff's real serious. You have to be aware of what door you just cracked open. There are conspiracies. Wow. Today it's worse. Back in the 80s, you had to go buy books. 1995, to find out all about the New World Order. Well, here's another book all about the New World Order. Whoa, it says almost the same things. And you just keep going and going at 1995 a pop. And you're broke. Now you can get it online. Yes, these things may or may not be real. All kinds of stuff. I have been listening to it for years. The New World Order, the Jews, Catholics, Illuminati, Skull and Bones, banksters, Boy Scouts, gray aliens, or something or another are secretly controlling the entire world. Our world is really the Matrix. Area 51. 9/11 was an inside job. There was another shooter on the grassy knoll. Any of these sound familiar? We never went to the moon. The earth is flat. The earth is hollow. The earth is round. Aliens are on the moon. Chemtrails. The entirety of the liberal nonsense. All of it. It's a disease. It's a mental illness. And it creates such things as same-sex marriage, which has worked itself into our daily lives. Gender, I don't know what you call it, thing. Stuff. Global warming. The whole of the mainstream media are a conspiracy. All of them. And they open doors that maybe we shouldn't have opened. Yep, there's stuff to be really worried about out there. Beware of how you do that. And then there's stuff, sounds cool, walk away. The harmless conspiracies open a door to more sinister conspiracies. Here's where I'm leading this to. They open a door to doubt and even outright rejection of Yahweh. Where does this come from? You start listening to the conspiracies. You get into the conspiracies. You get into these things. You start to believe that all of it is for true, and that guy on Facebook who just happens to have a web page, and that's his only thing he's got, says so. Or the guy that wrote that book, he says so. He may even have some alleged evidence. But it forms, well, if that's doubtful, maybe this is. Do you know Santa Claus is exactly this position? He creates this situation for children. Because they believe in Santa Claus till they're what, 14, 20, something like that? No, younger than that. And then they find out Santa Claus isn't real. They believe in the Easter Bunny. Then they find out the Easter Bunny's not real. They believe in the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy's not real. They believe in all these other fairy tales, and they find out they're not real. Goes to church. Pastor's up there saying, if you need something, pray for it. Jesus will answer all your prayers. Kid goes home. Dad's been out of work for 6 months now. This happened. Kid goes home. Prays, dear Jesus, please give Dad a job. Months go by and he doesn't get a job. The kid says, gee, I can't see him. Maybe he isn't real either. And that's where it led. Santa Claus is a bad thing. And I really hate being called Santa Claus. You wonder why I never wear anything red? They also they will come to this, the Bible conspiracies. In just a few minutes, I want to just cover this. There is a conspiracy floating around within the Messianic movement that says the first verses or so of the Bible says that God created all of this stuff in so many days, evening and morning, one day. Well, really, the thing's called gap theory, by the way. The gap theory says, well, really, that's bajillions of years between that time frame. And then the next thing, and it goes on like this, and then you start to think about this, it burns in your brain and creates a doubt, and I'm not joking, this has happened. I'm not speaking something that might happen. I know people that this has happened. And they're teaching stuff because now they believe it. They cracked a door open a long time ago with all the other stuff, and it just left this whole thing that said, you can believe anything you want. Thank you. And the next one goes like this. The serpent actually had sex with Eve, and that's where Cain came from. Factual. Oh yes, you're wrong because you don't know the Hebrew. This one hurts. This story hurts. I had a very, very good friend. We had been buddies for a long time, like we're talking 20 years. He was a big help in my recovery from alcoholism. You didn't know I was a drunk? Oh well. I actually opened the door for him to get into and start looking at many of the conspiracies that were going on around us. However, he allowed it to open the door all the way. And one of those sources of conspiracy said stuff like, you know, what it says in the Bible might not be quite the way we understand it. Here's what it says. Adam came from the Hebrew word Adam, and Dam means blood, and Adam means blood in the face. If you slap a white man, he will leave a red mark there because he has blood in the face. However, a black man does not. Consequently, black people are not human. That is exactly what that paper said. It's called identity. It also leads over to the white supremacy, KKK, them guys. But the guy bought it because somebody said, the original Hebrew says, bing, oh, I don't know the original Hebrew, but you do, and you've written a book on it. You must know what you're talking about. Hook, line, and sinker. He and his wife now spent all of their time listening to a dead guy. All of his video, they must have listened to him 7,000 times. And they are nowhere near saved. I opened that door, and I'm forever ashamed. So beware of the things that will happen. Now, he could have opened the door himself, but I let him there. Beware of words like identity. And people that come up with stuff and say all kinds of things, just check it out. Today we have no excuse. Then we might have, this was back in very early 90s, late 80s, I can't remember. You had to go buy books. You couldn't go to the library for this stuff. You didn't have it at the library. Now you can get it on the internet. What are you doing here? I led him to the wrong door. Okay, what else? What's on TV tonight? We avoid R-rated movies. Is this correct? You don't watch R-rated movies. You're a religious person. No R-rated movies. So what? The stuff that they're feeding us, subtle, a little grain here and a little grain there. It's okay for two guys to, do stuff together. It's all right. It's part of the storyline. All right, it's a factual event, and I'm watching it, and they're giving me the idea it's normal. There are TV shows about gender stuff, whatever. I can't think of what terminology to use. People are watching it. They're popular. They have 4 or 5, 6 seasons of these shows. Why? But they're not R-rated, The movies may open a door a little teeny bit or give us a piece of information that will cause us to doubt later. It's happening. We're inundated with science that tells us all of this that we see came about by some kind of Big Bang thing. Have you ever watched documentary type shows? I like animal shows. Animals all evolved from something or another. I love space. I'm a science fiction crazy person. But when they come out and say, well, there is no God, this was all evolved, and on and on and on, that's being forced into us, and we start to see it, and we accept it, and we question Yahweh. Did you really create this? You know why he did it in 6 days? I have the simple answer. The simple answer is, it was a miracle. He wanted to make sure that everyone knew, I did this by miracle. I said, let there be, and pazow, it was. He meant it to be a miracle. He should be praised because he created. What's next? Okay, emotions. We get emotions from TV. Yes, there are wonderful shows. Yes, they give us, there's emotional things that are stirred up. Yes, it's just fine, it won't hurt you. Unfortunately, you could click to the next show and get something else. This was a question I heard some church guy say one time before. Only he used a different name, but he says, would you invite Jesus to watch this movie with you? Well, maybe I have to explain it to him. They are a form of temptation. They can lead us, I should have said, they can lead us away from being set apart to Yahweh. They hinder our relationship when our brain is grinding away on things that are not His. That's where we're going to be. They are a product of this guy. You want to know there is a conspiracy. There is somebody in charge. There is somebody that is actually secretly controlling everything. Actually, it's not so secret, but Hasatan. You know him, the devil guy, all right? He's not red skin, pitchfork, horns. He kindles the evil impulse, the Yetzer Hara. It's that impulse we have within us that just lets us do stuff or makes us do stuff. He is a master of camouflage. Absolutely. He can hide in plain sight. Yes, he is controlling those in charge. I am firmly convinced of it. And I'd like to know how come certain people aren't in jail already. They're being protected by that guy. He's convinced billions of people he doesn't even exist. He cast doubt on Yahweh's word. What did he say to Eve? Has not God said? He knows the words, by the way, he knows the book way better than you do. His first attack, okay, we already got that part. Is it true said, that Yahweh said? Actually, he didn't call him Yahweh, he called him Elohim. We as humans are being constantly tempted into doing all manner of stuff. It's in front of us every time. It can be the subtlest, minorest thing. It can be the biggest deal that there is. And I'm running low on time. Sexual pleasures. Got that? We have escaped from the church, us Messianic believers. We rebelled from the church. Protestants escaped from the Catholics. Protestant means protest. And they are protesting Catholics because they were still Catholic. We kind of came into existence by rebellion. But we're rebelling to Yahweh's word, not away from it. Rebellion, appearance. People dress, well, you can read it. Modesty is gone. Tain't no more. You haven't. It just, there is no such thing anymore. Speech. You know, there's stuff that I hear that women say that men never said before. We didn't talk that way. We didn't talk that way in front of people. Women. We do it now all the time. Or they do it. Actions. This whole, I thought the 60s was bad. I lived through the 60s. I thought that was bad with the sexual revolution or whatever it was that they called it at the time. It ain't nothing compared to what's now. All right, I'm cutting down here some things that are slower. Do you need to write that down? Yahweh's law, rebellion against Yahweh's law is absolutely the biggest deal. The church does it openly, deliberately, and they love it. They're proud of it. There's a mental rebellion or psychological rebellion against many things. I have a problem with this gender confusion thing. I have a granddaughter who's not sure what gender she is today. And the Christian church opens the door a crack with their rebellion against Yahweh's commands. The children, the young adults, the adults that are sitting there in the pews are going to follow along with that rebellion. But God knows my heart. Yes, He does. It is sick. King James says it again. Last, but certainly not even a little bit least. Yahweh has called us, or has not called us to fit in. How can we be set apart to Him, but yet fitting in against Him? And here's where it all boils down to. This is the only reason for this message. This verse. New Testament. 1 Peter says, you're a chosen race. Israel's a chosen race. A royal priesthood, a set-apart nation, and people of a possession. How can you fit in? We should act like it. And there are monsters on the other side of the door. Some of us know much better than others. Don't have any of those. Please stand for this one. I think so, don't you? All of our sons, our sons-in-law, our grandsons, and our great-grandsons. That little fella. Yisimcha, Elohim Ephraim, V'chim Nashe. May Elohim make you as Ephraim and Manasseh. For all of our girls, our daughters-in-law, our granddaughters, and our great-granddaughters, Yisemek, Elohim Sarah, Rivka, Raquel, Leah, Verut. May Elohim make you as Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, and Ruth. Food. I saw a couple of things back there in the kitchen that really look good. We're going to have fun, all right? Let's bless that food. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mezonot. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who creates all kinds of food. Please receive the name of Yahweh. Yivreka ka Yahweh v'ishmereka. Ya'er Yahweh panav v'kuneka. Yisa Yahweh panav v'yasem lacha shalom. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. And Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you all and give you his shalom. And Shabbat shalom, you all.
Okay, now we'll have a time of prayer.